Hi guys, today we're going to do a couple of more missions with our Captain Lightning friend. But first, let's go see if we can get the almighty Captain Marvel t-shirt from the vault. Personally, I don't really expect to. As you may have noticed in the various videos, the t-shirts and the hoodies nowadays are really once in a while reward that you get. Oh, speaking of once in a while reward, we got the Batman boxers. So that pretty much guarantee we won't get the t-shirt. Not sure exactly how the vault works, but I believe there's like a one item that possibly can give you a rare thing, and I think the boxer was it. And that seems to be it. So let's see what we got. So we got a biomech belt, which we don't have, so let's use that. We already have those gloves, so let's destroy that. And the Batman boxers, so let's take that. Pretty sure I'll never use the boxers, but there is a feat for having a certain amount of styles, so why not? Okay, so today we're going to fight a lot of zombies somehow. As you can see, we're pretty much sharing the objectives. Like our little friend Firefly did click on the sphere thingy, and it gave me the objective as well. So there will be no need to fight over the objectives. Whoever clicks on the thingy, it will give it to everyone. Which is which is for the best, I think. Whenever you have to fight off other players for certain objectives, it's not really the best option. I know that some people seems to think that competition is a good thing. Sadly, it usually leads to some pretty toxic behaviors, I think. So it's one of the nice things where we don't even have to be in the same group to team up. We can do missions together just by being in close proximity. We don't really need to be in the same group, which is a plus, I think. So we only need a few victims. So again, as you see, even in a big with other players, it's pretty easy to get those objectives. Sometimes people will get mad thinking that you're trying to steal their kill, so to speak, and fail to realize that more often than not, you're pretty much sharing the objectives. I think I'm sure there's at least a mission or two where sometimes it happens where you don't actually share the objectives and you can steal people's skills. But more often than not, you actually do share the objectives, so that's not a big deal. Uh, Somehow it didn't select. Yeah, there we go.
Faust is channeling the power of his stolen souls through a portal to Kondak in the middle of campus at the archaeology building. Find the portal so we can stop this ritual before it's too late.
We did that mission not that long ago with our friend, the Wolverine, helping out a fellow player.
The magic in Faust's barrier
So now we can do it with our friend, Captain Lightning.
must disguise you. I will
I'm not sure if I can get the investigation.
The university warehouse is stocked with
Oh,
conducting
yeah.
that may help.
Dissertation notes. The consent of a
I
new
usually wait to get it as a zombie later on, but if I can get it now, why not? So let's go to the warehouse and let's fight some giant zombies. I always find it kind of cool seeing those giant NPCs. Uh, it's a nice flavor. It's not something you have in every game. A lot of games, all the characters are pretty much human-sized. So it's nice when there's a variation with the size of the enemies, or just the size of the players and of the characters in general. I have to wonder though in the upcoming raid how they're going to treat Trigon, because essentially we saw what they did with the T5 alert with Trigon. I just hope they won't do something like that for the raid. It was fine for the alert, but it was a little cheap, I suppose. It's something you see in other videos, video games, where you'll see one of the characters will not really be a character. It's almost part of the background, and once in a while you can interact with it a bit, which is more or less what we got with Trigon. Like it was almost like a background element that once in a while would interact with the players to beat the crap out of them. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best situation. But then again, that they made him so big that I can pretty much understand. It would have taken a much bigger area to be able to have a full Trigon at that size standing in the area. But I'm kind of hoping that we will get to see that maybe in the raid. I guess we will have to wait and see. Our little treasure chest. Uh, nothing worth Nothing worth it, really. It happens. Hi there, just doing a few missions with our friend Captain Lightning. As you can see, having a penetrating strike this early on in the game makes quite a difference. I think the last time, well, when I was first here with I think my Wolverine character, it wasn't that that easy to kill all of them guys, or with other characters. And those giant mummy guys, they crack me up. I really love seeing them. They're 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 a nice flavor to the game. There's a lot of Egyptian themed characters and even gear in the game, which is nice. I guess I'll have plenty of gear to choose from when I finally level up my Sandwalker character. And right now, the penetrating strike does seem to make quite a difference. But I can't wait to get some gloves to be able to use the max damage mod. That will uh, that will be even better. But of course, we just got an upgrade with our hand blasters, which was nothing to sneeze at. So there's usually where is it? There's a healing room somewhere. I always forget where it is. Oh, let's go get this little thingy first. Oh, there it is. As you can see in solo missions and even in the duos, the lightning powers have some pretty good crowd control powers.
connection notes. The God of
I
the
guess we
Sky,
can leave.
Horus, has the authority to return a
Separating you from your soul is the only way to take out the deathless.
You will need to leave your soul with the demon Etrigan. He waits for you near Faust's deathless obelisks. He wants Faust to gain power no more than we
I'll
do.
get some Egyptian gloves, but
As with my last son has proved he will keep your soul safe.
what we had is good, if not better. So I guess we can just get out of here. At some point, this upcoming mission was a pretty tricky one in the PvP open world. But in here, it'll be a piece of cake. Essentially, in the PvP open world, it's one of those missions where the opposite faction will pardon themselves and will farm player kills. At least that's how it used to be. But nowadays, the PvP open world is pretty much a single player game. So it's not as big an issue as it used to be. Although once in a while, you'll see people try to farm player kills in this area. And the reason is very simple: that you can't run away. Like if you're a speedster, well, you're stuck as a zombie, so you can't run away. If you're a flyer, again, you're stuck as a zombie, so you can't just kite away, fly away. And as an acrobat, you cannot kite away as you could. You're stuck here. So essentially, no matter what movement mode you're usually using, as this zombie, you're very slow and there's nowhere you can really go. So you have a little choice but try to fight. And if well, by the time you're here, you're around level 25, somewhere between level 25 and 30, depending on how you leveled up your character, depending on how many quests you skipped or not. Like if you did everything and you did all the alerts and all the explorers and all that good stuff, then you're probably a bit higher than I am right now. And if you skipped a lot of the explorers and I didn't do any alerts at all, and then you could easily be level 25 when you're here. So a level 30 plus would come here and pretty much outmatch you, sadly. Of course, it's not always the case. There's ways to bypass this. Like this early on in the game, skill point make quite a difference. So if you have a level 20, 25, 27 character that has like 150 skill points, holy crap, you're going to be a lot more powerful than a traditional level 25 guy. Essentially, it diminishes the more you go up in level. But if you can get a lot of skill point this early on in the game, you'll get an edge over most players. Sometimes you can surprise players who thought they had an easy kill and then end up getting beaten up. I had this character at some point where at level 10 I essentially I bought a truckload of skill point. Had like 100, I don't know. I'm not sure, somewhere between 100 and 120. It's been a while. And I was jumped by so and also the thing about the skill points is that it allows you to take weapon mastery. So at some point I was my level 10 character doing his little business around the amusement mile. And then a level 23, I think, 24, jumped me, and there was also a level 30, probably a new fresh level 30 character. And I beat the snot of all beat the snot out of all three of them. Not because I'm so uber skilled. Essentially the skill point, but even more important, the weapon mastery did the difference. And at that time, weapon mastery was pretty new, so it was a bit more powerful. I think it was nerfed a bit since then. But holy crap, when those three guys jumped me, the last thing they expected it was for me to go into a weapon mastery combo. And essentially, my first hit killed like two of them, and my second combo finished off the other guy. So maybe next time I play a low level character, I'll buy 100 something skill points just to show the distinction, like how much more powerful it makes you this early on to have those skill points. Which is part also why there's this huge discrepancy between people who think that skill points are the most important thing in the world and people who think that skill points are pretty trivial at this point. Is that if you started playing the game and the top gear was tier 3, well, sure, back then having 150, 200 skill points, holy crap, that would have made a hell of a difference. But as essentially starting around T4, even worse at T5, uh, the, this, this, the stats from the gear was so high that whatever extra stats you had thanks to skill point didn't really matter that much. Like generally speaking, it was about like a 5% difference. So if really you needed that extra 5% to be able to do the mission, that was a sad thing. Oh yeah. I guess we're going to try and save the soul of the students before we go in. Let's go to our gear. So we got a new mask, so let's use it. A new mod that will sell, sadly. So there seems to be this rift or this cleavage between the old players who remember the olden days when tier 2 or tier 3 was like the top gear and having 100 skill point made a huge difference, and the newer player who are used to the uber stats of the tier 5 tier 6 gear and who don't understand why some people would think that skill points are so important. And of course, there's the weapon mastery that comes into the equation. If you can have just enough skill points to have weapon mastery, your character will be a lot more powerful. Just thanks to the weapon mastery, and you don't even need all the combos. You just need one. As soon as you unlock one, you could pretty much use that one combo almost all the time, and it. Although it depends, I guess, on the weapon you're using and also on the power, because some with the advanced mechanics, some power benefit a lot more from the advanced mechanics than they do from the weapon masteries. I guess I'm so used to playing. I usually play a role. Like I rarely play DPS. I usually play either a healer or a controller or even a tank. Although I didn't play any endgame tank yet, but someday. So I'm used to playing, let's say, as a controller. The weapon mastery is pretty pretty important, I would say. First, it allows you to do a lot more damage than you if you didn't have the weapon mastery. And depending on whatever changes they make, like I remember when they just added weapon mastery. Holy crap! My Magneto character was pretty much always at the top or close to the top of the scoreboard. I was doing as much damage, if not more damage, than most DPSs. So weapon mastery was pretty. It was hard to argue against. And I remember I wasn't too crazy about it because I didn't like the idea of let's say having one of my characters using a bow when he wasn't really a bow user, if it makes any sense. But the benefit from weapon mastery was so great that you could not ignore it. You could not say I will not use it. Well, you could decide not to use it, but also at the time it was around the tier 6. Uh, the the devs to I guess to make up for the how powerful weapon mastery was ended up giving like a billion hit points to every single mob in tier 6 after weapon mastery was introduced. So doing some of the Wonder Woman missions, holy crap, it would take it would take quite a while because just killing one mob would take you forever, and killing a handful of them was even worse. And sadly, it pretty much ended up encouraging ad skipping. Not that it didn't exist before. Ad skipping has been there for a long time, and has always been a problem, I guess. But with after weapon mastery, once they started giving a billion hit points to everything, holy crap! Then people had every reason to skip ads and had little reason to take the time to kill them all. So it made something which was already bad to begin with, ad skipping, into a nightmare. So if you weren't proficient at skipping ads, you could easily get into trouble sometimes because the whole group would skip, and then you would be stuck behind fighting a billion ads by yourself.
I don't know what the zombies were going to do. I don't know what the zombies were going to do.
So we're pretty much done here. We can go inside, I suppose. Oh no, we can't. Oh, I didn't. There we go.
Wow, don't you look totally decomposed? You'll blend right in. Faust to raise
Let's take a second or two to finish off these two. Clearly, really want to fight. There we go. Just to make sure we're done with the students. I guess so. So depending on your playstyle, I know that there's some people who don't like when they get transformed into something other than their characters. There's people who want to play their characters, period. So when they end up being transformed as a zombie or transformed as a demon, some player don't like it very much. Or even with some of the iconic solo missions where you play as Bizarro or the Huntress or Wonder Woman. There's plenty of players who aren't too crazy about that. I can understand them. It is a bit annoying to be forced into playing that one character. Uh, and even if you kind of like it, it's enjoyable at first. But like in the case of let's say Bizarro or the Huntress, there's a feat where you have to do those missions like 100 times. So it is fun the first time or the first 2 times, but by the time you've done the mission 100 times, and but essentially by the time you get the 100 feet, you're pretty much sick of that of those missions.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Not that close.
But playing as an iconic character, it's kind of fun, even if some people don't really like that.
Dissertation note. The jackal-headed god of the east.
The thing I like the most about that kind of character is that it sometimes forces me to try out powers I wouldn't really use normally. Like in this case, there's like Word of Power. I'm using it because essentially I'm using playing a Shazam character. But normally I would never really use Word of Power. I would probably use another power instead, and another of the supercharge of the electric supercharge instead, for various reasons. But playing a Captain Lightning character gives me a reason to use a power like Word of Power that normally I would never really use. And also it gives a focus a bit to the character. When you're playing a supposedly original character, it's easy to first to min max your character, to take like the best power and to ignore the weaker power, and also in terms of styles, sometimes you end up with many styles and you don't really know which to choose anymore, sort of. I had this character called Prometheum Knight, who started as a pretty generic looking character, I suppose. And the more I was customizing it, the more it started being fleshed out. But then at some point, I ended up pretty much looking like a reverse evil Mr. Miracle, if it makes any sense. Like as soon as I got the Miracle Escape, then I started tweaking I started tweaking my look a bit, and I quickly ended up looking like a mirror universe version of Mr. Miracle, if it makes any sense. And of course, when they added skimming, that made that even worse. So at some point I figured, if I'm going to have a Mr. Miracle knockoff, I might as well have a proper one. So I created a Mr. Miracle hero instead. If I'm not mistaken, those spheres pretty much have something to do when you're running this mission as a villain. Eons ago, I would click on those spheres even while I was playing as a hero, but now I don't really bother with them anymore. Sometimes there's a treasure chest hidden somewhere up here. Not today, I guess.
Everything is in place. Stand back, Blackadder, and watch your love return to our world.
Faust! What trickery is this? She does not live. Her flesh, it's rotting. Give her more of your powers. Do not hold back. Growing so weak. The powers of SHAZAM are mine. Poor, pitiful Black Adam. Now bury death, Adam, forever. Faust, what have you done? These minds
Our friend Black Adam, so ungrateful.
Dissertation note. The goddess of motherhood and magic, and the protector of the dead, the breath of Isis pushes the
So that should be it for now. Let's see if there's not something we're missing. I suppose not. We've got a plan. Oh, a nice chest piece. Let's look at this belt. Nope. That's okay. We've got a few nice things still. So let's go see our counterpart, the other Marvel.
Despite his evil actions, I pity Black Adam's grief for the woman he loved. May Aphrodite grant him peace from heartache. As for you, you have triumphed over the tyranny of death and revealed Faust's treacherous lies. You have served justice today, my friend.
Congratulations. You stopped Faust.
It's like looking in a mirror, almost.
And Black Adam has lost Isis once again. I hope he learns from this and does not take revenge.
I've got an urgent call from Fire in the East End police station. She spotted Omax cyborgs in Gotham and is calling in for backup.
A small pant
Batman is
upgrade, why
always
not?
on the alert. Talk to Fire. She'll contact you when you're on site.
So apparently Fire needs our help. I'll wait for next time. Let's go to our base and re-imprint, repair. Let's see if we have a new skill point. But we got a new power point. So it says good, if not better. Let's see. No, we're not going to use one of those. We're only going to have one more power point after this, so either we take 2 powers here. I might as well complete this one here. I don't really plan to use it, but you never know. I might I may change my mind at some point. Oh, wrong one. Oh yeah. So I'm going to tweak my loadout a bit. Essentially, I was waiting for this. Like Galvanize usually is my heal over time. So let's go with that. Let's see what else I can replace maybe. Let's go like this. And like this. So essentially we have our heal over time here. We have our heal if we want to heal 2 people. And we have our heal if we want to heal 4 people. And if we need to heal 8 people, we have this one. So we're pretty much set to be able to be decent at healing at least. And essentially, if you're wondering, this one that's pretty much just for some crowd control when my healer gets overwhelmed by mobs or ads or whatever, by enemies essentially. Oh, that is. Oh, I did not imprint yet. There we go. So let us go and sell whatever we don't need. This we'll keep for someone else. These 2. Or yeah. Same here. Oh, there's a pistol guy who's going to be happy when you see all those pistols. The mighty Cobra Mantle. We'll put these here for now. So all in all, it wasn't bad. If I'm not mistaken, essentially we should do the OMAC missions for fire, and we'll probably end up doing then the Spectre mission, and that the Spectre mission should propel us to level 30, maybe. If not, then by the time we do the handful of missions we have at the Watchtower for in this case it'll be Superman. Then we will most likely be level 30. So in about 2 or 3 gameplay sessions, we should be level 30. So I guess we will have to wait and see. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.